I'd like to welcome you all for this webinar, Pest Management using Beneficial in cardamom plant. Actually, let me introduce Mr. Ramakrishnan, who is horticulture graduate and who is specialist in insect management using predators and parasitoids, who is guest today to do all this to a presentation. And let me, if I start Ramakrishnan's career, who is horticulture graduate, and then after that he got orchid farm, and he's one of the largest importer of orchids and doing research on orchids also. And also he's the specialist in he used all beneficial insects into the orchid farming also, and also who is going to give integrated pest management for all crops. And now today the cardamom is we concentrate on cardamom crop. So I don't want to waste more time on this because we are already late for some time. And Mr. Ramakrishnan, you are on. It's your time. Please move on with your presentation, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sunil, and good evening to everyone. So today my topic is integrated pest management using beneficial insects. The crop is cardamom. Now every one of us know that pest management is one of the major problem in all the agricultural and horticultural crops. And I also face a lot of difficulties because of the pest problem in our own farms. So I was just searching what is the solution to control the pest, because we are all trained to use the chemical pesticides. So I was keep on searching what is the next alternate solution, because I have a deep trust that there for every big problem there will be a small solution. So I also found this for controlling the pest, the beneficial insects are one of the best alternate solution for controlling the pest. And why the pests are so difficult to control? Because we are using a lot of pesticides, and because of that, all the pest has developed resistance. When we keep on using a particular pesticides or a different type of pesticides, the pest will create a resistance. So when you spray next time, it will not die. So we are forced to use higher molecule pesticides and very strong pesticides. So that is why all our food products are all contaminated. And again, because of the regular usage of pesticides, the natural enemy population also eradicated. Because when we spray the pesticide, it will not see whether it is good pest or a bad pest. It will kill everything. So all the natural enemies also killed because of the improper usage of pesticides. And again, climate change. Climate change also is bringing a lot of problem to the, is also creating a lot of pest problem. Example is the locust. Because of the climate change only, we got locust in the North India recently. Then again, the whole world became a small village, because everyone is traveling from one country to another country, and we are carrying a lot of food products and everything, and along with the human beings, the insects also entered into our country. For example, the whitefly, the eriophyte mites of coconuts, all these are introduced pests into that, especially the spirulina whitefly, which is a big problem almost in every crop in India now. Also the eriophyte mites of coconut that is introduced from Sri Lanka. So these are all the factors also creating bringing new pests into our country. Then the ecological imbalance, because since we are spraying regular chemicals and pesticides, the ecology also imbalanced, and because of that, all the natural enemy also died. And again, the major problem is the monocropping system. Like if you are going for a perennial crop like guava, mango, or cardamom, it is a monocropping system. So the crop will be continuously there. So the pests also remain there. Suppose if you are going for a crop rotation, for example, the vegetables, one time we grow brinjal, then we go for the another crop, so that that whatever the pest of brinjal will also eradicated when we grow for the totally different crop. So that way it can be controlled. But for here we are seeing the crop cardamom. Cardamom is a monocropping system. So year round, maybe 10 years or 20 years, we are growing only cardamom. Because of that also, the pest in the cardamom is we are unable to control the pest in the cardamom. And cardamom farmers are facing a lot of problems. I've been to Idukki district for several times, and I found they are facing so many pests, and they are using so much of chemicals, and still they are unable to control the pesticide and unable to control the pest. And there is a huge demand for organic cardamom also. Those farmers also facing a lot of problems to control the pest. Then what is the alternate solution? So the alternate solution is the release of predate. Already there are so many alternate solutions the organic farmers are using. That is mainly the botanicals and the microbials. And here we are introducing predators and parasitoids. That is one of the. It is actually it is actually not a new concept. It is already there. It is the nature, but we lost. So we are forced to release predators and parasitoids. That is the beneficial insect into our ecosystem and control the pest. Then the microbials, there are so many microbials are available that also can be used. Then the botanicals, that is already used by the farmers. Then the pheromone traps and lures, there are so many pheromone traps are available. And then the improved cultural practices. So the proper cultural practice also control the pest population easily. That mostly all the growers know very well about how to improve the cultural practices. So I am not going deep into that subject. So now so my topic is on the biological control, and there also my specific is on the entomophagus, that is predators and parasitoids. And predators and parasitoids, those are called beneficial insects. In parasitoids, there are so many categories: egg parasitoid, larval parasitoid, and pupal parasitoids. And predators, predators will kill the pest in the field. Actually, in common terms, if I say, the beneficial insects are non-vegetarian insects. They attack only the insect. They never eat the plants. So that is the simple way to understand. Because when we say to the farmers, when we release a particular predator and parasite, they will always have a fear whether this predator and parasite will become a menace in their field. No, it is not like that. It is a non-vegetarian insect. So as long as the pest is there, the predator is also there in the field. If there is no pest, it will go away because it needs food. So that is how. So predators and parasitoid is not harmful to any of the plant system. Then the next category is the entomopathogens. That is Beauveria, Metarhizium, Pseudomonas, and Faciliomyces. These are all already used by many farmers. But these predators and parasitoid is not commonly followed in India. But other countries, they are extensively they are using this kind of items. Now is the different predators. These are all the ladybird beetles you must have seen in the field. It's already there in all the field. These are all some predators available in our ecosystem. This one is the mealybug eater. It is called the Cryptolemus montessori. These are some of the common predators: assassin bugs, the red-eyed bugs, brown lacewing, lady beetle, green lacewings, mealybug destroyer, minute pirate bugs. These are all the lot of common predators available in our field itself. What you are seeing in the top of the picture is the ladybird beetle, and the bottom one is the green lacewing. And actually predators. What is the difference between predators and parasitoid is the predators will eat the insect as such, whereas the parasitoid it need a host to survive. For example, if it is egg parasitoid, the parasitoid we are releasing will go and lay the eggs on the pest. So it is called egg parasitoid. Then on top of the egg, this parasitoid will lay the egg, then it will hatch and it will kill the egg and it will multiply and it will keep on spreading. Like that, a larval parasitoid means the parasitoid we are releasing will go and lay egg on the larvae of the insect. And every insect have a 4 life cycle. Most of the farmers, they are very well about this thing. So here larval parasitoid is I have already explained, and pupal parasitoid is the parasitoid we are releasing will lay the egg on the pupal and it will kill the pupae. So that is how it is controlled. And what are the predators we can use in cardamom? So that is the, in cardamom we can use green lacewing. In green lacewing also there are two type of species are there. One is Chrysoperla cornea and another one is Pseudomallida astur. And this Chrysoperla cornea is an excellent aphid feeder, and aphid is also one of the biggest problem in the cardamom. And Pseudomallida astur is a very good feeder on thrips and mites and whitefly. So this green lacewing is an excellent feeder, and if you release in the cardamom field, because the cardamom farmers are facing a lot of problems with the thrips and mites, and the rate of release is 2,000 grubs for 1 acre. And after that, every 3 months or 2 months, we can release further. Suppose because if the pest population is there, this will be multiplying very fast. For example, the green lacewing lays, one female will lay 200 eggs. So suppose if you are releasing 2,000 grubs, so it may be having a 1:1. Normally 1:1 ratio is the male female population. So it will be having 1,000 female. So 1,000 female will lay 200 eggs. One female lay 200 eggs. So 1,000 into 200. So you can imagine it may be something like 2 lakhs will be produced in the farm. So that way it will be multiplying very fast. Like that, the ladybird beetle, it will eat all the soft-bodied insect like aphids, thrips, and everything. Also the larva and all the eggs also it will eat. And redweed bug, that is also same like ladybird beetle. And Cryptolemus montessori. This is actually Cryptolemus montessori is it is a specific predator to mealybug. And mealybug is one of the big. It is very difficult to control mealybug, but Cryptolemus they prefer to eat only mealybug. So it is one of the ideal predator. And this is the common predator you can see in the farm. So when you enter into any farm, if you see the spiders, that shows that particular farm is not using any pesticides. So that is the indication. Normally when we go for certification and the organic farming, that certification agency, they go and search whether any spider nets are there. If there is a spider net, they are very sure that that farm is not sprayed with the chemicals. That is the indication. So spider is one of the excellent predator. Even in our farm also we collect spiders from other places, and we used to release in the farm. So it is one of the excellent predator. It is normally available, and there are thousands of spiders are available, and whatever is available in the local ecosystem, that we can allow them to grow and multiply. And the ladybird beetle is also one of the excellent predator. And what you are seeing is this is the grub stage. Actually, the ladybird grub stage is the predator, not the adult. Then the redweed bugs. This is also one of the predator. Now you are going to see how one of the assassin bug, how it is attacking the larvae. One of the larvae. So through its mouth part, it will release proteinase venom, and immediately when it injects the venom, the larval will be it's not killed. It will be go to an unconscious state. Then it will suck the whatever the content inside the larvae, it will eat. So this is how all the predators are working in the field. And what you are seeing is the green lacewing. The bottom one is the green lacewing adult, and this is the green lacewing grub, and this one is the egg. This is how it lays egg on the undersurface of the leaf. So this green lacewing is one of the excellent predator, and what you are seeing on top is the aphid. This aphid is one of the biggest menace in the cardamom, And what you are seeing is the cardamom crop, and this is the symptom of the thrips attack. Because of that, the farmers lose a lot of money, and the farm actually when it goes for action, if there is any, this actually in locally it is called chori, and if there is these symptoms are there, the product will fetches very low price. And this mite is also one of the major problem in the cardamom. And when we keep on spraying a lot of chemicals, the secondary pest population will come. That is actually, it is called pest resurgence. When we keep on spraying a particular pesticide, it will create another pest. So, and mite is one of the best example. When we keep pyrethroid and any pesticides, the mite population will increase. And I have seen a lot of mite problem in the cardamom field. So maybe these mites, you cannot see through the eyes. The best way to identify how to identify mites in cardamom is just take a white plain paper and rub the under surface of the leaf on the white paper. You can see a blood color scratch on the leaf, on the paper. That shows the mite is there, because it's a red spider mite. The mite is having a blood kind of it's a kind of blood is inside. So you can see in the paper, and many of the farmers, they are not aware of the mites is present in the field, but it will reduce the yield almost 20 to 30%. And this Cryptolemus montessori is a mealybug feeder, and it eats only the mealybug. Mealybug is one of the major menace in all the crops, and in cardamom also it's one of the major problem. And here we have recommended 500 mealybug for 1 acre. So once you release, it will be keep on multiplying, and the mealybugs will be under control. Actually, this is the predator introduced from Australia to India by our government, and now it is used in almost every crop. And the parasitoid, I already said there are 3 types of parasitoid: egg parasitoid, larval parasitoid, and pupal parasitoids. And in the cardamom, the major problem is the shoot, capsule, and panicle borer. This is one of the major problem, and for controlling this, we can use the Trichogramma chilonis. It is an egg parasitoid. When we release this egg card in the field, the Trichogramma will go and attack the egg present in the plant, and it will kill. And we have to release 4 cards per acre. Like that, Bracon is a larval parasitoid, chilonis is a egg larval parasitoid, and Tetrasticus is a pupal parasitoid. All these can be released for controlling all the moths and butterfly in the field, and especially the capsule and panicle borer. This is the photo of the Trichogramma parasitoid. Now you can see the Trichogramma is sitting on top of the egg and laying the egg on top on the egg, so that the egg of this Trichogramma will go inside and eat inside the content, and finally the Trichogramma eggs present in the field. This is the Telenomus. This is another egg parasitoid. This is Bracon. Bracon is a larval parasitoid. It go and sit on the larva present in the field and lay the egg on top of the larva and kill the. Before laying the egg, it will sting the larvae and it will make it unconscious. Then it will lay the egg, so that the egg will hatch and it will become grub, and finally the Bracon will come out of the larva, so that the larva is killed and the Bracon population is also increasing. This is another one, Cotesia. And this is another photograph of Trichogramma. And this Trichogramma is used in the capsule borer. You can see inside the capsule the borer is there. Also in the stem also you can see the borer. And this is the adult. You can see the adult in the cardamom field. The yellow color and the nice moth flower and moth kind of insect will be coming out. This is this is the Trichogramma card. This is usually called commonly it is called tricho cards. So this is sold in the market, tricho cards. So we have to buy these tricho cards and staple under the leaf surface. You can see the leaf under that. We have to staple this one, and from 1 cc card, nearly 20,000 egg parasitoids will come out, and it will control the entire larval population in the. It will control all the Lepidoptera insect in the field. It is one of the excellent parasitoid. And this Trichogramma chilonis is used in mostly sugarcane, tomato, cotton, almost all the crops in all over the world is used. It's one of the excellent parasitoid. And there are so many other species also available that also can be released in cardamom. And this is Chilonas blackburni. This is another egg larval parasitoid. This also can be released in cardamom for controlling the shoot and capsule border. And this is Brecon habitator, is a larval parasitoid. This also can be used for controlling the shoot border. Then we have the beneficial nematode. That is also one of the main category for controlling the insect pest in the cardamom. For that, this beneficial nematode is called EPN, entomopathogenic nematode. Entomo means insect pathogen. For killing the insects, these nematodes are used. And in cardamom, the biggest problem is the root grub. And for controlling that, for every cardamom plant, we have to put 2 cadavers so that it will be killed. Here you can see the cadaver. This is the dead body. Inside the cadaver, the nematodes are available. You can see the nematode, the small like a worm kind of things. Actually, it is highly microscopic. And if you put 1 or 2 cadaver in around the basin, the grub, this is the cardamom grub. It will enter the cardamom grub through its mouth part or its anal or its there are a lot of spiracles will be there. Through that, this nematode will enter inside the cardamom and it will kill the cardamom. But for when we use this EPN, the soil should be moist, because this EPN will move only through water. So the soil should be moist. Normally, the farmers in cardamom they apply this cadaver when there is immediately after rainfall. But it is already very well practiced in cardamom. Excuse me. Then we can use the monitoring traps. This is the yellow sticky trap, and there are blue sticky trap is also available. And yellow sticky trap is normally used to control the whitefly, and the recommendation is 10 per acre. And blue sticky trap is to control the thrips, so that we can monitor whether the thrips is present in the field and what is the quantity. For monitoring purpose, we can use this trap. And so when we go for these predators and the parasitoids, we have to maintain the ecology. So when we release the predators and parasitoids, the adult, actually the grub stage, as I said earlier, every insect is having a 4 life cycle: egg, larval, pupal, and the adult. Normally the larval or the grub stage is the predator, and the adult needs some food. It needs pollen or honey or nectar. So for that, we have to grow some of the crop. For example, if you are in the cardamom field, we can grow for marigold, clover, aster, cosmos, sunflower, or any flower where you can see the pollen outside is ideal for the natural enemies. So these things we can grow in the border, so that the natural enemies will get the food. And again, when we release this natural enemy, immediately it will at one particular point of time, it will kill all the pests in the field. So that time, maybe we can grow some of the crop like cowpea. Cowpea is the attractant for the aphid, so that our natural enemies will get some food from the cowpea. So this also can be practiced. But for cardamom, I don't need to grow all these things, because already the population is so huge in cardamom area. Because thousands of acres are grown, thousands of acres are under monocropping system. This is also another attractant plants. This will attract all the syrphid flies, carabid beetles, syrphid adult beetle. All these can be attracted. These are all natural enemies, good for cardamom. And here you can see how the ecological engineering system is followed in Vietnam. So this is the rice field where the border is raised with the cosmos, so that all the natural enemy population will be maintained in this field. It is a purely 100% organic farm field. They are not using any pesticide. They are releasing predators and parasitoid. Along with that, they are growing these attractant crops. And here you can see the maize. It's a edge crop, so that it will act as a fence, and the insect will not from the other field will not enter into our field. So this system also can be practiced. These are some of the photographs you can see. You can see the sunflowers grown in the rice field. And immediately the question will come whether it is cost effective. Here I have given you the approximate cost of when we release all these things. here actually I have covered almost all the pest of cardamom. So all the pest can be controlled by using all these natural enemies like green lacewing, ladybird beetle, redweed bug, cryptolemus, trichogramma. All these can be released, and we can have a control of the pest population in the cardamom field. But only one thing is, we are not supposed to spray any pesticide in the field. If we spray the pesticide, the natural enemy will also die. So for 1 acre, we have to release for green lacing, we have to release 2000 grubs, and the cost is 2 rupees, so it will cost you 4000 rupees. Then ladybird beetle will cost you 2 rupees, so 1000 rupees. Like that, redweed bug 1000 rupees, and cryptolemus 1000 rupees, and the trichogramma chilonis is 1 hectare is costing 150 rupees, and so all these, when you calculate together for a single application, it will cost you 13,250 rupees. But I don't know exactly how much the pesticide cost. But what I heard is, if for an acre, they are spending almost 1.5 to 2 lakhs for a cropping season. So maybe even if you are releasing for 3 or 4 times, also still that cost is not coming. So maybe the farmers can very well work whether this is effective or not. Thank you. So with that, I'm completing this presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Ramakrishnan, for a wonderful presentation. It's really great. We understand about this pest management, integrated pest management, using beneficial insects. Participant, any questions are welcome.
Sunil sir, just a minute.
The recorded meeting, the meeting to you, maybe Surya Narmada will share you the link. Maybe tomorrow we can do it, and you can just go through it. And if you have any doubt, you can call me my mobile number. And my mobile number I will show in the slide. 1 minute.
Chat box I have already included. Okay, your mobile number and mine, everything is there. So they can contact us and we can send them the link privately.
So this is so you will be getting the link of this today's program. And if you have any doubt, you may ask now. And sorry, and extremely sorry for not unable to allow to inside.
Mr. Ramakrishnan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I am Dr. Logishwaran.
Yes, sir. You are my professor.
Yeah. The lecture was very nice.
Okay.
And the presentation also was very good.
Okay.
And the slides that have been prepared meticulously well.
Okay, sir.
And Dr. Tyagarajan, Dr. V. Bhaskaran, they have come in the meeting, and they are our students from Periyakulam.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Tyagarajan is in Spices Board.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. V. Bhaskaran is in Andaman. I think you may be knowing them.
Yes, sir.
I have sent your link to these two people, and they have come.
Okay, sir.
And overall, it was very nice, and
okay,
I am very happy to see you all, including Srimati Surya Narmada. And my one suggestion is,
yes, sir.
In cardamom, the ecological situation is very nice.
Yes, sir.
For the parasitoids as well as the microbials to multiply very well.
Yes, sir.
The only problem is the estate owners of cardamom should not use too much of insecticides.
Yes, sir.
And if they don't use insecticides, the natural enemies, they themselves will take care of most of the pests and as well as diseases.
Okay.
And as far as my experience goes, cardamom is mostly affected by the root grub.
Yes, sir.
And if it comes, the entire plant is lost, and the yield is also very much reduced. And the next problem is the thrips. Thrips only reduce the quality of the cardamom. Yes, and for root grubs, Metarhizium anisopliae will work out very nicely. And Metarhizium will will perpetuate itself naturally in the cardamom ecosystem.
Okay.
And of course, for thrips, many people, they only spray insecticides. And for thrips also, Rhizoperla, they can work. But most of the cardamom growers, they prefer spraying insecticides and that to the systemic insecticides. And maybe that's a problem actually for the people who advocate biological solutions. Okay. Anyway, my suggestion is you can try Metarhizium anisopliae for root grafts.
Okay.
And that will perpetuate naturally in the ecosystem. So once when you introduce, then it will perpetuate naturally in the ecosystem. Okay. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and your presentation and everything was very nice. Okay. And I will also contact you in future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Logeshwaran sir. We are very happy that we're being your students. Now we are in the same platform after some 25 years. We are really feeling happy.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And I have sent your link to many of our colleagues, nearly for about 20 links I have sent to 20 students.
Okay.
And I am very glad that 2 people have come, Dr. Tyagarajan and Dr. Bhaskaran.
And I can share you the YouTube link also, sir, to your WhatsApp number, so that you can send it to the people in your network.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? And even if you want, you can type in the chat box also. Participants, because it's a very new topic, and in the integrated pest management, I can confidently say that Mr. Ramakrishnan has taken a very bold step in this as a business perspective. That is also because many people used to think in a very, it's not a very easy task. It's a very tough task to bring the predators and parasitoids like this. But he has taken that initiative in a very bold way, and he underwent some very good trainings. And after that only he made this venture. But when it comes as a horticulture consultant, I can say that it will be a very good practice in eco-engineering model. So many, if our graduates are there, if our horticulture or agriculture graduates are there, kindly get connected with Mr. Ramakrishnan and do promote this concept, because it's a very friendly concept, and at the same time it's a very effective concept. And as a practical thing, I have done in my farm, in my 4 acres farm, and I got very good result. I got the red wheat bugs, lacewings from Ramakrishnan, and I tried in my farm near Radhapuram in Tirunelveli district. So we got a very good result. After that, I am suggesting to my clients. So you people take this into next.
It's not clear, ma'am.
What's that? Hello?
Madam, for all other new entrants, okay, it has been muted. Kindly unmute. Probably you have muted for all the new entrants.
Yeah, they can unmute on their own, sir.
But all the people that did not unmute, probably the coordinator has. It looks as though the coordinator has muted it.
Okay, just. Now I think they can unmute.
Now they can unmute, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Bhaskaran.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Bhaskaran is now talking. See? Now so far he got unmuted. And Tyagarajan also should be.
Yes,
Bhaskaran,
sir,
your video is not there. Your video, put the video on.
I am in mobile, sir, so that it is low band frequency, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Andaman. Problem is in Andaman. Yeah. Anyway, you can hear Suri Narmada and Ramakrishnan. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir?
I think he has a network problem.
They themselves can now they themselves can unmute.
Sir, can I have a question, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I'm an organic farmer, organic farm cultivator. How to control stem borer in biological system, in ecosystem?
Okay.
Just I want to know that.
What is the crop? You are growing cardamom?
Yes, sir.
That is the stem. Is it the stem borer attack the capsule also?
Very rare. One in the stem. Very minor in capsule.
Oh, okay. It's an exclusive stem borer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you have you seen the larvae of the stem borer, whether it is outside the stem, or you cannot see any of the larvae?
I can see, sir. I can, yeah.
You can see, right?
Yes, I have a picture also.
No. Suppose if you can see the larvae, or suppose if that insect is laying the egg on the shoot, then we can release the trichogramma egg parasitoid. Also, the larval parasitoid also we can release, and we can kill we can easily target this capsule borer, this stem borer.
Okay, sir.
So you can try trichogramma, Brecon, and also Tetrastichus also you can try it. Maybe I will share you the. I think have you attended the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. If there is no more questions, we can wind up the meeting, and I would like to say thanks to Suri Narmada for giving me an opportunity to present through Cowise Foundation. And she is an excellent lady doing a lot of charity work and doing agricultural promotion. Also, she is my classmate and friend. And
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
My name is Venkat. I'm calling from Kolli Hills Herbs and Spices. We are based out of Kolli Hills.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was just let into the meeting, so I don't know what has happened. But I have one question. Correct me if it is relevant. Speaking of this cardamom, see, I would like to know how its effect on other spice crops as a main crop in Kolli Hills. You say that we follow this method of that what you are telling. What will be the effect on other crops?
No, this is actually whatever the predators and parasitoid we have presented today can be used in all the crops. The pest is same. There are some species variant for all the crops. If you specify the particular pest, we can recommend what predator or parasitoid has to be released. So for every pest, we have a solution, and some cases may not be available, but that can also be reared in the laboratory. But it needs some research activity. But whatever available we are having is able to control all the sucking pest. Actually, if you see the pest, there will be 2-3 categories. The sucking pest is there. Then the larva, then the moths and butterfly, the Lepidopteran is there. So for that also we have a pest solution. Then the mites are there, and the soil-based insect. For that also we have the EPN. So almost all the pests in the field can be controlled through this system. And again, when we maintain the ecology, the final I have given the presentation on the ecological engineering. When we maintain the ecology, even in case if you don't have any predators and parasitoid, if you maintain the ecology very well, the natural predators present in that your area will be multiplied, and it can also multiply in your field, and it can there is a good chance to control the pest.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because here in Kolli Hills, it's mainly been organic, whatever spices or coffee.
Okay.
So, as you said that you would be willing to do, so we'd be happy to cooperate with you and find out how best we can suit all this for the spices, and especially cardamom is being planted now.
Okay.
So I would like to get in touch with you, and we'll see how we can work out best for the Kolli Hills.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your.
Venkat sir, kindly share your number so that Ramakrishnan also can note down your number.
All right, ma'am. I'll share it in the chat box.
Oh. Any other questions from the participants?
So I think we can wind up, right?
Yeah.
So my next thanks to Dr. Logeshwaran. He is my entomology professor in the Horticulture College and Research Institute, Periyakulam. I am so happy that he joined the meeting, and I am so grateful to him. Also, thanks to Mr. Sunil, who has initiated his work, and he is also assisting and helping me a lot to take this into the pharmacy. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Okay,
Thank
you all. Our special thanks to Logeshwaran sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm closing the session. Thank you all participants because I think you will be sorry for the inconvenience also. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.